North American.
And for those of you who still think we're from England,
We're not.
no.
No. Thank you for tuning in to the Other People's Show on Friday, October 27th, 2023 on 92.5 WLSD The Vault. Also, you can tune in at AM 1220 and online, WLSD.com. Also, check out the sister station, WAXM 93.5. All kinds of great programming happening over there as well. You can also go on their webpage and check out the Dark Place, which is a show I do every Wednesday about teen killers. They're scary. They're North American scum. But tonight we're going to dive into a couple different things. I know that I've had a few, mental issues over the last couple months, but I'm back in full force tonight. Going to give the ladies and gentlemen and every person out there all my heart and soul tonight. Going to give you a good show, and I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, which could not be very much considering who you are. You might hate me. Please don't hate me. Don't hate me. If you want to follow on the social media, you can go there on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Search The Other People's Show. From what I'm getting, the viewership and listenership are skyrocketing, and that's only due to you all, the listeners. So give your all self a round of applause. Am I the only one applauding for you all? I hope not, because it's because of you all. So thank you very much. At a couple of my side hustles, people come in sometimes and tell me that they listen to the show. And it's actually a very nice feeling knowing that you all listen, that you all care enough, that you all go to the social media pages, and then even approach me, if you don't know me even, and say, hey, I listened to the show. I enjoyed it. Thank you. I do appreciate you all more than you all know. A few weeks ago, on Friday the 13th, it was a difficult day. Difficult show. I'd come off a very turbulent week, but I had so many people reach out, and I haven't got back to you all. A lot of you all, some I've sent a message to, but I do want to say from the bottom of my heart that those that reached out really touched me, and I mean that. I really do. I mean, we had Heaven, we had Ray, we had Ashley, we had Felicia, we had Lana, we had Tyler, we had Michael. So many people out there that I did not know that cared seemed to care. Even if they acted like they care and they really don't, act like you care. That's all I ask. You don't really have to like me. You don't really have to care. Just act like you do. And that goes a long way. But tonight, wow, where to begin? We've got a couple of days left until Halloween. We've got Halloween on a Tuesday. I know a lot of people are having Halloween parties tonight. So if you're having a Halloween party tonight, have a great time. Be safe. Dress up in your favorite costume and have a blast. I know a lot of things are going on tomorrow night as well. I'm not going to be appearing. Well, I might be appearing places, but I might be appearing. I might be appearing as none other than Pee Wee Herman. That might be who I'm going to be appearing as tomorrow. Now, I do work at one of my side hustles tomorrow. I'll be there all day. Not going to dress up during the day because people would do a double take. If you don't know what I look like, you can check it out on Facebook Live or YouTube right now on the Other People's Show. But I do have kind of blonde hair, light skin, relatively thin, in early 40s, although I look a little younger. But dressing up as Pee Wee Herman takes a little bit more effort. Just a little. I've got to darken my hair, so I went earlier today, got some spray at Walmart, going to spray my hair dark. I do have the Pee Wee Herman suit, which, no joke, I purchased at Goodwill over 15 years ago. I went in there and I saw a gray suit. It was the jacket. It was the pants. And I had to buy it. And it was only $10. And I bought that probably, in all honesty, I bought it, I think when I was I think I bought it when I was in college. Because I wore it once to a college Halloween party at the, I think it was called the Fizz at the time. That sounds a little bit different. That's not really the version that I want. I'm telling my producer back there, I want a better Pee Wee song than that. That wasn't a good quality. Give me a better one. Give me a little bit better one. How about this one? I think this one's better. I really can't do the Pee Wee voice as much, but I wish I would have honed it in kind of worked on it over the past couple of years. Because I think if I shave completely, I've got the suit. I've got my hair is about that short. I'll just color it black. I do not have the platform white shoes. And I have been unable to locate my red Pee Wee Herman bow tie. But other than that, I think I can pull off the look. Well, I know I can pull off the look. So if you do see Pee Wee Herman at maybe Good Times or Kirkland's or Big Cherry or popping up in Halloween parties tomorrow night, it isn't me. It's Pee Wee Herman back from the grave. I know you are, but what am I? Ha! Ha! So yeah, I think I'm going to go as Pee Wee Herman tomorrow to a couple places. So that'll be fun. What are you guys and girls doing tomorrow? What are you dressing up as? Leave me a message. Let me know what you're planning on going as. Let's see. I've got Rebecca says she's going as a ventriloquist dummy. Someone's going as Agent Scully. How many people would know that? If you're going out as Agent Scully, Dana Scully from the X-Files. I'll go as Fox Mulder next year. Would people know? Would people know who it is if you just go alone? I think you'd have to have both Fox and Scully. Both. We've got the Grim Reaper by Paul. So a lot of good costumes. We have Joker. Which Joker? I think every year someone is going to dress up as the Joker. But which Joker are you dressing as? You've got so many Jokers to choose from now. You've got the 1960s Batman TV show Joker. You've got the Jack Nicholson Joker. You've got the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. You've got the, what's the other guy's name that did the Joker? What's his name? I'm trying to think of his... Oh, I hate that I can't think of his name. He was the Joker in, like, the Suicide Squad. And he was in the Morbius. Was it Morbius? Yeah, Morpheus. Morbius, yeah. Jared Leto. which Jared Leto is a good actor. I'm not going to put Jared Leto down. Jared Leto, however, is pompous. And Jared Leto, you can tell he's a little bit pompous if you go on his Instagram account. He'll have a lot of selfies, like he's on the side of a mountain taking a selfie. He's wearing like a Gucci, feather, coat with no shirt. He's doing that long Jesus locks, And, I'm just not a big fan of people boosting themselves up like that when we know you're a good actor. We know you're a good musician. You've had a couple of platinum selling albums, and you've got an Academy Award for Dallas Buyers Club, I believe, and you're up there with some of the best. Well, I don't know if you would be up there with some of the best just because you're off-screen antics, Jared Leto. Please, we want to like you. People want to like you. Cut your hair, be in some movies, do your music, but do not post and boast yourself up on this Instagram drinking this Chardonnay or wearing these Dolce & Gabbana shoes or carrying their bag, because there's no need for that. We already know. What are you trying to prove? Are you lacking in something? I don't know. We want to like you, Jared Leto. Let us like you. And I would have loved to have seen what he would have done more with the Joker in Suicide Squad. Now, Suicide Squad is one of the films. I don't want to say that I'm anti-comic book film at all, because I'm not. I mean, there have been some good ones out there, but the ones over the last couple of years have all been the same. They're basically the same. Black Panther, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Nick Fury, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. They're all the freaking same film. Over and over and over. And I got to say, Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk is not good. It might be against popular opinion. It doesn't matter. Mark Ruffalo, especially when he's like a smart Hulk or something like that, and he's wearing glasses, that is ridiculous. That is laughable. Mark Ruffalo as Hulk is laughable. Edward Norton from the 2008 Hulk movie, far superior than Mark Ruffalo. Edward Norton, however, didn't play Marvel's little game and walk down the line because of Edward Norton is a true artist and actually cares and puts himself into the product rather than just becoming the product as Mark Ruffalo. If you disagree with that, I'm sorry. You can disagree with that. You'll be wrong. That's okay. But Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk is not good. As Bruce Banner, lame. Lame. I have to say that. But I would have liked to have seen, I digress because I got off topic. I would have loved to have seen Jared Leto's Joker be the main villain in the Suicide Squad instead of the villain that the Suicide Squad had. That was another problem with Suicide Squad, the original one, is that the main villain was lame. The main villain was the same villain from Ghostbusters 1984. The exact same villain. A villain that didn't really show much of a threat. A villain where you're going to have to go up a bunch of stairs to get up there. A villain who talks weird. A villain who has, rays coming out of them. And a villain that we have seen many times before, again and again and again and again and again. I could probably say again the entire show. For 44 more minutes, I could say again. Because you've seen it, whether you want to admit it or not. I've seen it over and over again. So, we didn't get to see that. We got to see Margot Robbie. We got to see Will Smith. We got to see a couple of other characters brought to life, which they did a good job. We saw Jared Leto had filmed over 2 hours of footage, and he was mainly left on the cutting room floor. So I would have loved to have seen him as Joker, be the main villain. Although he is not nearly as menacing or realistic as the great Joaquin Phoenix is in the movie or film Joker. That being said, what's going on with everyone tonight? Now, I've recently just moved into a new humble abode, a new apartment. You all are welcome to come visit from a distance, on YouTube. I'll do a little, quote, cribs episode soon when I get everything there. But there's a stress if you've moved a lot in life, which I have moved quite a few times in life. But there is a stress that comes with it that that I dislike, and probably that most dislike. Now, is it the fact that you're longing for a place that you no longer live? Is it a fact that when you first move in? For me, anyway, I got all new, furniture and things for the apartment. I didn't really bring anything to the apartment, but it's just the stress of waiting to get everything in there before it feels like a, quote, home. Because in all honesty, I've never had a place where I have felt like I have a home. I've never felt like I've had a home. I've always felt like kind of a, maybe a guest that stayed a little too long is what I've always felt like a little bit. So whenever I get a place now, that it's going to be weird because I'm turning into a home for a little while, at least a year, and turning it into a studio, so I'll be able to go live from the studio at my place as well, in case winter gets a hold of us. We can't get outdoors. I don't know. There's just so much. I'm waiting on, now I've received this on-air live, kind of like this circle, and it says live on air, and it's got like a microphone in the middle, and it looked really good on Amazon. Colors were vibrant. It was perfect. But when I take it out of the box last night, plug it in, the microphone is a pink, and the base of the microphone on the sphere is like a teal, which I'm not against those colors at all. But it didn't go well with my pretty much the interior. My area rug. I have a couple posters that I'm getting ready to hang. We've put them in frames. So I decided to send it back, just because in the picture it showed it was kind of a purple color. But when I get it in person, it's a pink. And like I said, I'm not against a pink color, but it just did not really fit well with the image that I had in mind. And that's another frustration, is that a lot of the times, because I've been ordering a lot of things from Amazon, is that when it comes in, is it going to be what you think it will? Is it going to be something you have to send back, something you have to wait for, something that you get it in, open it up, and you're like, let me test it out, like I did this with a watch a couple months back. I'd given away a watch that I'd gotten as a gift. Bad mistake. It was a great gift, a great watch. I love the watch. But due to the fact that when certain things end, a relationship or things like that, I typically give things back because I don't want the heartache of looking at whatever the person gave me, because it might make me sad, make me cry. I'm easy to cry, easy to get down in the dumps. So I gave that back. Trying to, find another watch to replace it, I ordered another watch, got the watch in, wore it maybe 2 or 3 days, and then I was like, this is not really fitting. This is a little too, it was too shiny, to be honest with you. The watch was just too shiny. So I sent it back, but when I sent it back, I apparently pushed resend. So they sent me another watch in the mail as well, and I just, automatically sent that one back, sent the other watch back, and if you watch the Facebook Live right now, I do not have a watch on at all. which is kind of a little bit sad because I think a watch insinuates your outfit. It goes well with things, and it's just a nice compliment to someone's arm, someone's wrist, so to speak. I mean, it really is if you think about it. Because you look at, if people have rings on, or they have like a bracelet, or they have watch, things like that, they look a little more sophisticated, I think. I really do think that. Maybe they don't, but I really think they do. I really do. So, we're going to go to a song right now. We're going to go to Electric Youth in College, A Real Hero. It's from the Ryan Gosling movie Drive, which I would highly recommend. I would really highly recommend that film. And then when we come back from that song, I'm going to dive into some of the scariest or people's favorite horror movies of the last 15 or 20 years. There's been a list that's come out. I've concocted that list, and in addition to getting some reports and stuff from other people chiming in. So we're going to go through that list and more on the other people's show. But right now we're going to listen to Electric Youth in College, A Real Hero, on 92.5 WLSD, The Vault. And that was Electric Youth in College, A Real Hero, from the soundtrack to the 2011 movie Drive, starring Ryan Gosling, which is a good movie. I would definitely check that out. Someone sued Drive, the movie, because they said the trailer to the movie made it a misrepresentation of what the movie was actually about. It's more of a slow, quiet thriller than the Fast and Furious, I guess, scenes that it showed in the trailer. And someone thought it, they tried to sue because they said, I spent my money on a movie that made me think it was Fast and Furious-esque when it wasn't. Lame. So many people out there trying to take advantage, trying to make money. There was once a couple years ago, we talked about it on the old show, where a lady had, from what I recall, she had purchased some Victoria's Secret undergarments. So have you? And I guess they had like a little jewel or little trinket or something on the back part because it was like a thong. So when the lady stepped into the underwear, I guess she was a larger woman, and it snapped. The little trinket popped off and hit her in the face, hit her in the eyeball. So she tried to sue Victoria's Secret because she got hurt. But my thought really is, okay, you know yourself if you can wear this. If I'm going out and buying an outfit, if I'm buying some jeans, shirt, socks, underwear, it doesn't matter what it is. I personally know what I can and cannot wear. Like today, I purchased a belt. I know that I need a 32, 34 size belt. I purchased some more black jeans. I know that I need a 32, 34 size jeans. I'm not going to try to squeeze in to a 28 or 26 size jeans and belt. And when it doesn't fit me and pops off and hits me in the face, I'm going to try to sue the makers of the jeans and belt. Because one, that's just not logical. Two, you're stupid if you're trying that. I mean, it just comes down to it. I'm not going to try to fit my foot into a size 10 shoe when I wear a 13 and a half and then try to sue Nike because my foot hurts because it won't fit in the shoe. Just ridiculous. We live in ridiculous times, and they call for, I guess, ridiculous measures. Who knows? But like I said earlier, it is Friday, October 27th. You're joining me tonight, or you're listening on podcast, or on the web, or on Facebook, or Spotify, or YouTube, all these different routes to listen. But we do have Halloween coming up. And I have compiled, just due to research from what others have suggested, fans of the show, people that wrote in, lists some of the scariest or people's favorite horror movies of the last 20 years. Now, these are in no discernible order because, I think I said on the last show, Real Talk, is that I really don't have what you would say a favorite. I'd have to really sit down, think about it, dissect it, make a list. I'm big on lists. And I would make a list, compiling the movies that I thought, and it would kind of be like, Friday the 13th versus Nightmare on Elm Street. What would I choose between those two? What would I think would come out on top? Kind of like a celebrity deathmatch horror movie style. However, we'll go through just a few that have been suggested, and they're in no order. So if you don't hear yours, in the top 20, this is just a list, people. That doesn't mean that they're not good. It doesn't mean your opinion's not valid, because it is. It's just not valid or good on this show. I'm just kidding with you. So to start things off, we have Scream, the Scream series. It came out in 1996. Drew Barrymore, Neve Campbell. We've got David Arquette. We have Courtney Cox. We have Jamie Kennedy. All these up and comers at the time. And Scream came out at a time when virtually the horror movie was dead. You had Michael Myers, I think Part 5 come out the year before. It did dismal business at the box office so far that they even considered they considered retiring Michael Myers, or they considered just making him a straight to DVD character franchise. Scream single-handedly revitalized the horror genre. Now, I did go see Scream. I was a young 16-year-old. I went to see Scream in Coburn Cinema, in the small cinema. It was the one to the right, on a matinee. And there were very few people in the movie. I knew a lot about movies because the internet was still around. But I received this a magazine called Entertainment Weekly. And it obviously came out weekly, but it would have up-to-date news of anything film-related in the entertainment industry. TV, music, film, which is my three specialties. Well, not really TV now, but music and preferably movies is what I have a specialty. So, there were not many horror movies setting the world on fire, but after Scream, it revitalized the entire genre, and the effects of Scream's success still ripples to today. There was a successful Scream movie in 2020, which wasn't really bad. Not bad at all. You've got Scream, you've got Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, kind of lackluster. Scream 5 kind of brought it back, and then the sixth entry this past year was a solid entry. Even Scream 3, which I highly detest, Courtney Cox's hairstyle, which is awful. But even with that, there's not really a truly, what I would say would be a weak link in the Scream franchise. Obviously, the first Scream movie is the best, but the second entry is a very close second. It's very solid, and up until the killers are realized, which I do think the killers are a little bit. I think the killers in part 2 are a little bit of a letdown, but other than that, I mean, it's a very solid entry. I got to be honest with you, and I would highly recommend that one if you haven't watched it. Now, the others, maybe 3, you could bypass 3. 4, you could bypass 4 as well. But, I think 5 and 6 are a good entry as well. So I think the Scream has, I think that there's some good entries in there. I think there's some good performances. You've got, I think a Nick Drake song in there. You've got a lot of good performances in there from a young cast, and then you've got Wes Craven coming in, 20 some years after Freddy Krueger, and things like that. And he's you got Harry Winkler, the Fonz plays a principal. So there's a lot of good aspects to Scream. If you haven't seen those movies, I think you should at least watch 1 or 2 because I think they're fun. I think they're inventive. And it did revitalize the horror genre as a whole. You've also got, you've got the Nightmare on Elm Street series, which I really haven't watched all of them. I got to be honest. I hadn't been an avid Freddy Krueger fan. I don't dislike Freddy, but I always found him a little grotesque. The burnt face, a lot of the deaths and kills that he does. When I remember he turned someone into maybe he infused them with a motorcycle one time. He has a lot of things come out of his head, and it's just a little gross for me. But those series have been a very successful franchise since the 80s. Now it's laid dormant since 2010, so it's been 13 years since another Freddy movie has been made. And I think it's about time for them to revitalize it again. I don't know if they're going to do probably a reboot at this point. I mean, 13 years. You just like, you got in 2009, you've got a reboot of Friday the 13th. Here it is 14 years later, nothing else. Someone mentioned, I think a few weeks ago, that they had something on the horizon with Friday the 13th, but I haven't really seen it. And then you've got the same thing. You've got Nightmare on Elm Street laying dormant, and then I've got Friday the 13th. We talked a little bit about that a few weeks ago. Jason coming back. I really wanted to go, and I might watch it tomorrow, is Jason Takes Manhattan. That was actually the first Friday the 13th movie I watched. I think it's number 8. And he doesn't actually get into Manhattan until the third act. So he really doesn't take Manhattan. It was just a ploy, I think, to get people in there, is what I think. I mean, I don't know. I didn't make the movie. But I think it's rather enjoyable. And there's a lot of fun entries in that. And I do think the reboot of that in 2009 is a worthwhile movie. I mean, you've got a Jason that runs. He's quicker than any other Jason. He seems to be more violent and more brutal. You've got the nudity that everyone loves from the Jason franchise, Friday the 13th franchise. You've got some well-known actors and actresses. They've been on TV shows and done Lila Ford, I think, is it? What was her name? I can't think of her name, but she had like a pop song that was pretty big in the 2000s. She's in there. You've got the guy from Supernatural. He's in there. The guy that plays. He's also in House of Wax. So, you've got some known names in there. A really fun franchise and a really good reboot. And it just didn't take off. I mean, it made money. Both Freddy and the new Friday the 13th made money. Just critically, and audience perception and reception was not as good as they had hoped. I'm guessing... I know there's been some legal licensing issues with who owns the franchise and this and that. Let's put the dispute behind us, people. Make some good movies, and then you can split the profits. It doesn't always have to be about profit. Let's make a good product, and if you make a good product, the audience will show up eventually. That's how I look at it. Another great kind of a franchise, there's only 2 films so far, is The Strangers, which Scott Speedman and Errol Smith's daughter, what's her name, Liv Tyler, they're basically the main characters in the film. There's only about 5 or 6 characters in that film. And then you've got The Strangers Pray at Night, which has a great score as well and has some great kills, and which is a fun movie. And that takes us to the next song tonight, which is Kids in America by Kim Wilde from the Strangers Pray at Night soundtrack on 92.5 WLSD, The Vault.
Looking out a dirty old window, down below the cars in the city go rushing by. I sit here alone and I wonder why. Friday night and everyone's moving.
And that was Kids in America by Kim Wilde from The Strangers Pray at Night on 92.5 WLSD The Vault. Thank you for tuning in tonight on this Friday, October 27th, 2023 at 11:47 p.m. Now, I want to get into a couple more films that we've talked about. You know, I'm just briefly going through. I'm a lover of horror movies in general. I'm a lover of movies also. We've got the Hellraiser franchise, which in all honesty, it always scared me. Pinhead always had a very poetic yet menacing look. It always seemed like he was up to something. Even though, in all honesty, I've never seen him do anything, he's always talking. He's always talking in like some kind of riddle, some kind of poetry, some kind of gothic poetry. And I did watch the most recent one, which was a kind of a semi-reboot from last year with a female Pinhead. Pennes? I don't know how. What would you say, Pinhead? I'm not sure. But anyway, she did a fantastic job, and it was enjoyable. And it looked great. The colors were great. It was vivid. It was filmed well. Everyone did well. But the Hellraiser series never really grabbed me. It always scared me. It always took me to a place where I was very uncomfortable with those chains and the shackles and, you know, the Pandora's box. So I wasn't really as familiar with Pinhead as I was the some of the other ones. I mean, you've got the Halloween franchise, which, you know, continued up until last year with Halloween Kills. Now that was a very divisive movie, and I can see why. I do think, or Halloween Ends, excuse me. I do think that Halloween Kills is a worse movie than Halloween Ends, like of the newer ones. So we've got the Halloween 2018, which I do want to rewatch, but I remember it being fairly pleased with it. A little disappointed, but as for a whole movie, fairly pleased. Halloween Kills, I really thought dropped the ball. I really did. They had a Michael Myers that was indestructible, as if he was the Terminator. Especially with the scene near the beginning when he comes out of the flames. He's taking down the firefighters left and right. He's using the hose, using the saw, using the pickaxe, all these kind of things. But then they had the side plot. And the side plot had to do with kind of a mob mentality. They're chasing a small guy from an insane asylum and mistaking him for Michael Myers. There is no way that a group of adults, knowing what they know about Michael Myers, having encountered him before, that they're going to be chasing down a 5-foot-tall escapee from a mental institution that has a little pot belly. Michael Myers does not have a pot belly. Michael Myers will kill you. So you don't need to be chasing the wrong person. And if you're chasing that little escapee, you're ridiculous. Because it's not Michael Myers. Anyone with any brain cells knows that wasn't. But you got Anthony Michael Hall leading the charge straight from, the Breakfast Club. He's all pumped up, all ready to go. But you're chasing the wrong freaking person, Anthony. Anthony Michael Hall is who I'm talking about. So, Halloween Kills was a letdown. Halloween Ends was a letdown for a lot of other people. A little bit of a letdown for me because it doesn't focus on the mythology of Michael Myers. It kind of goes into a new direction, kind of introduces you to a new killer, and it only has Michael Myers in the film for 12 or 14 minutes. It's filmed well. Jamie Lee Curtis does, great work. I don't have a problem with the soundtrack or anything like that. But what gets me is that they didn't utilize Michael Myers. Now, they do they did kind of, bring up his age a little bit, how long he's been doing this. Yes, I understand putting that in there. But kind of introducing a new killer that spawned, or quote, the new Michael Myers. I don't think that was a great idea. And neither did a lot of audiences, as it dropped off over 60% its second weekend. However, they'll probably do another reboot in a couple of years. You've got the Rob Zombie Halloweens. I do remember watching the first one, and I do remember liking it. Upon rewatching it, I don't dislike it at all. I like some of the major Rob Zombie movies that I've seen. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell. Then you've got the 2 Halloween 2. You've got those. And I think he does a suitable job with the material given. I don't think those movies are, quote, scary. I don't think they're more disturbing. And it makes you kind of feel a little bit bad for Michael as a kid, knowing what he has endured and what he has to go through. He's abused by his stepfather. The kids at school, they bully him. His mother is the only one that ever gives him any sense of belonging or love or warmth. And I can't really say anything bad about those. I mean, they're not perfect, and they're really gory and really brutal, but I don't dislike them. But that could have been any character instead of a Michael Myers movie. It just happened to be Michael Myers. Rob Zombie could have created another character, used the same basic plot, just changed some of the names, and no one would know the difference. That's just the facts. You've got The Hills Have Eyes, which part 1, and then I've never seen the original, but I've seen the remake, and I think it was like 2006. Really good, really disturbing. Part 2 of that, not so good, not so disturbing. Not good at all. You have got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, you've got the Tobe Hooper original, which was a masterpiece, and it still holds up to this day and time. It looks like a home video, and it looks scary. It looks as if these people are just going to come around the corner and get you. And the remake with Jessica Biel in 2003 was equally as, I don't want to say equally, but it was scary. They did a good job. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, was probably the last one that I saw in the series, although I saw a couple years back a new one came out. You've got Hostel, Hostel 2, and Cabin Fever. And for the longest time, I watched Hostel and Cabin Fever almost weekly. Hostel Part 2, I watched it a lot, but not as much. It's a retread of the first. And you've got Eli Roth coming out, I think, next month with a new horror movie called Thanksgiving. So I'm very excited to see that. That was a faux trailer on the Grindhouse movies way back in 2007 with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. And I was always hoping that they would actually make a movie based upon that trailer. And then they have. Eli Roth is going to debut that next month, Thanksgiving. We'll speed through. We've only got a couple minutes left, which went really fast. We've got Saw series, which just came out with a new one called Saw X or X maybe. Haven't seen it. It's done really well. I've heard it's really good. But I don't know if I can stomach the Saw movies anymore. They're just gross. They're not really scary. It's more gore. You had the Paranormal Activity series, which was very big in the mid-2000s, and actually really good movies to drift off, to go to sleep by. Nothing super scary there. You got a couple of jump scares, really no blood, a few cuss words, but it's pretty much a found footage, and you're searching around the camera, the screen, for something paranormal, and that has activity. We've got the Poltergeist series, 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later. Evil Dead 1, 2 in the Army of Darkness. And then you have the 2 newer Evil Dead films, Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise. And then you have Ash versus the Evil Dead, which I've heard is more kind of like Army of Darkness. I haven't really watched that one yet. But Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, had the skeleton face on the cover of the VHS, and I would often see that when I would go in to video stores, and it would often scare me, which made me not want to watch it until later in life. And I really didn't. I was probably early 20s when I decided to watch Evil Dead, and the only reason I really did was due to the fact that Bruce Campbell's book. We have Silence of the Lambs and Seven. I don't know if I would call those horror movies, but more like thrillers. Definitely check those out. Seven, one of the all-time best thrillers, I think. And then you've got the Exorcist series, which just had a brand new movie come out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's done pretty well. I've heard good and bad things, so I may go check it out Sunday maybe. We've got Pet Sematary, Child's Play, which I watched the remake of that a couple weeks back. It's okay. I don't know if I would spend any more time. It was fun, but nothing extravagant. And then you've got The Witch, which is a great psychological horror movie. I would recommend that one, but put the subtitles on. Old 18th century English is spoken. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you've got House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. And that's the series of Captain Spaulding and his crew. So I kind of went through quickly with some of the movies, but they are all great Halloween classics. I think they're really fun, and I think if you're in a Halloween spirit and mood this weekend, you should definitely check some of those movies out. Definitely on Halloween, you should go, stream something, watch it. But you could also watch it dressed up. Dress up as your favorite character. Go out this weekend, have a good time, have fun, be safe, and then go trick-or-treating. I guess Tuesday is when it's happening. And then Tuesday night, as you're taking off your costume, or as you're going through your kiddos' treats, you should pop in a horror movie, regardless of what it is. Tell me about it. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. But please go on the Other People's Show page, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Spotify. Leave a comment or a suggestion and just tell me what you guys are watching, what you're thinking, what you like about the show, what you don't, and what we should do in the future. So thank you for tuning in tonight on this October 27th Halloween episode. Please check us out, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Adam with the other people on 92.5 WLSD, The Vault.